Hey everybody, this is Chad Warren. It's March 20th, my birthday. I appreciate all the birthday wishes from everybody, and I just wanted to share an update to the story below. Okay, so I said, who wants to ban TikTok? The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. They cannot handle criticism of their terrorist banking gangster state, so they must ban free speech. You can't have hate speech and free speech. You can't have Donald Trump supporting all this and then acting like he's a friend of free speech. We are spied on by our own government and corporations, so this is not about protecting we the people from the Chinese Communist Party, which I'm no friend of, or any of these governments. But we need to see what we can do to use these governments before we have to completely discard them. So I will show you the response I got from my representative in the U.S. House of Representatives, Bruce Westerman, who's a fellow Hot Springs native. He serves on the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure and as chairman of the Committee on Natural Resources. And this is what his take, this is just his newsletter, but I'm going to go ahead and read this because it's about this topic. And I did send him a letter. I haven't sent one to the other Congress people and representatives, but Bruce is taking the what I would call the mainstream Republican, not the MAGA party, because Trump did come out against this in some sense. I don't really even know specifically what he said. I need to look that up. But so this is not what I think is the issue, the Chinese Communist Party. But let's go ahead and read what he says. Bruce's take: as social media becomes more integral to our daily lives, the need for security to protect Americans from foreign adversaries online has become increasingly prevalent. What about the protection against our own FBI and CIA who are targeting us as terrorists for defending freedom of speech? I'm more concerned about that. I'm more concerned about corporations and computers than I am the CCP, because the CCP wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the West. You can read economics professor Anthony Sutton's book, The Best Enemies Money Can Buy, that show you that Wall Street CEOs, you see, after the Jacobin French Revolution, which is libertine, and what's led to this free love, birth control, tranny, woke, left craziness. Not that the right's got it, that all these two things are run together by the same Zionists, the same Luciferian Freemasons, but it's not foreign adversaries as in nations, okay? It's this UN, the world run out of Israel, and these people like Barbara Specter who say, oh, these Zionist Jews are going to rule the world and tell us all what to do, and run, if they run the media, and they're resented, and there's nothing we can do about it, and it's ugly. And of course, there's all kinds of wonderful people of all kinds of faiths and political perspectives and races and nationalities that are labeled, as Jews or Christians or whatever, but we are being used as pawns by these other people that want to use all this stuff for their own personal purposes. But Nixon opened the trade with China, and he's conservative, and then the CEOs were sent over to China because after the people revolt, they don't know how to run anything. And so John Deere sent over bulldozers, and Ford Motor Company sent tanks. We, the West, created modern Russia and China that wouldn't exist without us. So this whole notion of nations is bankrupt. It's currently the de facto government of the merchant class, and it's not the de jure government of the Constitution that's running things. And largely that's our fault for not showing up, which is why I'm sharing all this and explaining all this. Okay, so I'll shut up. That's my basic counter argument to this. Bad actors like the Chinese Communist Party have taken advantage of the growing U.S. footprint online by utilizing Chinese-owned apps like TikTok to target, surveil, and manipulate Americans. One thing I will throw in there is, like I wrote in the letter to him, what about Apple computers? Apple computers bows down to the rules of the CCP in order to enter the Chinese market, which seems silly because they have fake versions of all of our stuff. They have their own fake iPhones that they stand in line out in front of to get, and that's where they make all these phones anyway. And these phones are made by slaves. You know what I mean? The phone that I'm carrying around and using right now and you're using, whether it's Android or Apple or whatever, is made in terrible conditions, such as women having to go get checked for pregnancy during their lunch break and forcefully having their children aborted, and people living in the bathrooms and jumping off the buildings to their death so much that they have to put up suicide nets. So shut up about race in America. Shut up. You don't care. I don't care if you're black. What are you doing about slavery today? I don't care if you're Native American. What are you doing? We are all being thrown into this World War III and this lies about all this money being spent in this Ukraine war. Shut up. Apple Computer gives away everybody's data, that everybody was spied on. All these celebrities had their information taken. The Apple Computers doesn't care about all these terrible human rights abuses of China. So they're no friend. Although TikTok executives claim that it does not share any data collected by the app, there are several Chinese laws in place that provide CCP officials access to all user data collected by Chinese-owned tech companies. Guys, big data is bigger than big oil and big pharma together. And we need to see this as a modern human slavery, because all this information is used by these computers to get everything out of your life and you for it to have nothing. Okay? So that information is sold by independent data brokers. This is not by nations. You know, all of this information is out there, and we do need to have serious legislation to address our privacies and freedoms as it regards to all this online, this, that, and the other. But this is not the way to do that, which is just going to make it harder for people like me to speak online. And this doesn't just affect TikTok. They can say all these companies are, let's blame it on China, blame it on Russia. Although TikTok executives claim that it does not share any data collected by the app, there are several China... Oh, no, I read this. This means that the CCP has access to sensitive data like the location of every TikTok user worldwide, including the over 210 million Americans who have downloaded the app. Well, again, there's an agreement where they let other countries spy on U.S. citizens, and our nation uses its CIA and all this stuff to spy on citizens of other countries. That's an agreement. So they're all in cahoots with each other. That's mainstream news. I've received a handful of classified security briefings regarding the data collected by apps like TikTok, and it's been made abundantly clear that the U.S. must act quickly to protect the American people from our adversaries online. What about Facebook? What about Twitter? What about any of these places? What about the data there? What's the difference? It's not. Whether on TikTok or any other app controlled by the CCP, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, or North Korea. I voted. See, they're going to say that everybody like me is supporting Russia in China just because I differ about, that Israel should be held accountable for its war crimes and stuff like that. That's not true. I'm not racist. I'm not supporting these nations. The people that are running my nation don't support me or other people. Despite deliberate fear-mongering campaigns from TikTok, how do you distinguish their campaign to be fear-mongering? Why wouldn't we say your campaign is fear-mongering? Come on, what are we, children here? Give us evidence to back up what you're saying. This bill does not outright ban TikTok or other social media platforms. Oh yeah, is that like saying, oh, we didn't force you to get the jab? Yeah, you did. You use an intimidation. Instead, it gives TikTok a clear choice. Sever ties with their CCP managed company. What are we talking about here? Why don't last time I heard, America's like handing over the Panama Canal to China. The ports at Long Beach are run by China. Hollywood movies have to change what's in them because the motion picture companies are owned by China. Shut up, liar. You're lying. And sell the app to a buyer without ties to another authoritarian regime. You mean like the United States of America? Like how we're not even in the top 20 happiest places to live in America anymore? Shut your mouth. You're going to lose your job. Change or lose your job. The bill in no way restricts free speech bullshit or violates the First Amendment. See, that's the thing. You have to figure out, how does freedom of speech and the internet connect? That's what we need to be talking about. It regulates business conduct. There you go. They want to put everything in the world of business contracts and regulate us that way and lose our constitutional rights every time you submit to some contract. Related to national security concerns, it does not regulate or limit the type of content being posted. Yes, it does. You can clearly see that everything's about this anti-Semitism, hate speech stuff. Clearly, they're not limiting what the left does. Americans' phones are being used as weapons against us. That's for darn sure, but that's what it was designed for. And I will not sit by and let that happen. The bipartisan support, that should tell you it's a scam. When's the last time you had bipartisan support for anything? Behind this bill should be a testament to the very real national security threat of apps controlled by our adversaries like the CCP. This bill is a targeted approach to address this threat and get the CCP, Iran, North Korea, and other bad actors. Bad actors. Give me your B movies with your bad actors. I'd take it over these senators any day, out of the pockets of millions of Americans. I urge my colleagues in the Senate to advance it expeditiously. Yeah, there you go. All that in a bag of chips. So, I just want to invite you to find me on X. Let's see if I can do that here. That is this crazy bit of numbers, Chad Warren. You could probably find me. And then also, you can find me in the birthday balloons. Oh, the Hillary Clinton balloons. And then how do I find the my group I'm trying to share, which is right over here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. This is it. This is it. Truth Seeking Alt Media Digest. All right. Yes. So I will have the link in this video to this group. This is for people that don't want to just be infotained. They want to be co-operators, co-creators. We're going to get stuff done. Don't separate yourself from society because all this is a scam. Let's get involved any which way we can. Amen. Thank you very much.